Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cropper here. I accidentally found a library that was having a book sale today. And normally their books are $1 each for hardcover and 50 cents for paperback, and they were half that price. But then when I rang out, for some reason, I didn't get the discount sale, and I didn't say anything because it's so cheap. But a few of these I already have, but they're in Utah, so now I have 2 copies, and that's never a sin. I just don't know what I'll do with them if I ever have to go back to Utah, and I don't know if I should bring all those books here, and now I don't know what to do. But here we have David McCullough, John Adams. I have a copy of that. That's a nice hardback, hardly used for $1. Toward the Setting Sun, Columbus, Cabot, Vespucci, and the Race for America. That I got because I'm currently reading The Edge of the World by Bergreen about Magellan. So if I read Magellan and I know that much, then I read these guys, then I know that much about that stuff. Here's a couple of sort of cheap ones. I don't know what's going on with these, but they were $1 each, and I've already used this one to teach my daughter just about the 1930s Dust Bowl. We just sat and looked at it for 10 minutes. It was no big deal. The Years of Dust and the Dust Bowl. It's a big, flashy sort of picture book for the tabletop, coffee top sort of thing. And the next one is sort of for about, 4th graders or 6th graders or something. It's called D-Day, the days that changed the world. And it's not very thick, and it's published fairly recently. But a kid can look through it for 20 minutes and do a book report on it type of thing. I definitely have copies of this. It's the Oedipus Plays of Sophocles, but for 50 cents. Trafalgar, The Nilsson Touch by David Haworth. Nope, don't know enough. I really don't know enough, and I'll bet that most of my viewers do not know enough about Britain and the history of Britain. It is the fountain of freedom in the modern world. Every place that's free owes its everything to Britain, and America owes its everything to Britain, and Britain owes its everything to Aristotle. A History of the United States Navy, 1775 to 1991, so published in the early 90s. Yeah, don't have very many military histories, but I study the stuff, so I should have more. A Democratic Despot, The Life of Napoleon III. So, who doesn't need a book about Napoleon? I need to read more about Napoleon, I'm certain. The Woodrow Wilson and the Progressive Era, 1910 to 1917, by Arthur Link. I do have a copy of this, but for $1, I'll take a copy that's handy, in case I want. Published in 1954. A History of England by Harold Schultz. Let's get publication date on that. 1968. That should be alright. I'm sure that it is full of socialism, as all of these nonsense things are. In order to start reading a little bit to my daughter, I know that I could get it all online for free, but for 50 cents, the Signet Classic Book of Mark Twain's Short Stories. Virtually brand new, probably never been read or checked out even one time. The Document History of the United States, expanded and updated. So I only got this because the Monroe Doctrine is in here. I'm sure it's somewhere on the internet, but I can sit down and mark this up with a pen and read through it. And I want to do videos on the Monroe Doctrine, but it has lots of stuff. It has Reagan's speeches and stuff. It has quite a few good things. The 3 Theban Plays by Sophocles in a nice binding. Almost never used. It looks like it's been shuffled around a bit because the corner's scuffed, and that's it. Probably never read. $1. And we have the works of Alfred Lord Tennyson. I'm sure I have that. I have the works of Dryden in a matching binding, but I probably have Tennyson. The selected poems from Robert Frost. Ayn Rand's favorite poem was by Robert Frost. Was it... what was it? The Man or something? I can't remember. A very good poem of his I like is The Road Not Taken. Here's an interesting one. Book Notes on American Character, People, Politics, and Conflict in American History by Brian Lamb. If you're not familiar with Brian Lamb, he's the guy that interviews people for 3 hours straight on Book Notes TV, C-SPAN's Book Notes. Or, anyways, the finished product is 3 hours. It's about 2 hours of interviewing and then an hour of nonsense. But just all kinds of stuff in that. That's quite a large book. And just 2 more. The Age of Napoleon, to complement the other one that I got on Napoleon. This one published mid-century, was it? 1963. So that should be a good complement, at least, to the other one. And then Winston Churchill, The Wilderness Years. I've read 6 or 8 books on Churchill. This was published in 1982. So I just have never seen or heard of or read this one. So I thought, add one more. That is it for my new books. Total of 16 books. Total of, or I think it was 17 books. Total of $16. So not bad.